Jai Hind to all of you. Myself, Dr. Jayashree Jain, Associate Professor in Ajay Kumar Garg Engineering College, Ghaziabad. So today we will learn about the autoencoders in deep learning. What is the role of autoencoder and how they works. So firstly, we have to just understand what is the meaning of autoencoder. So we can see here, autoencoder is what? It is an unsupervised artificial neural network that learns how to efficiently compress and encode the data. So as it name autoencoder means it is going to encode our data. So encode means it is going to compress the data, because we all know we have the large data sets. So this is a technique because it have the unsupervised ANN technique. So when we are talking about unsupervised data, so there is no labeling in the data, and we are not aware what is the data is saying. So we have a large amount of data. So this technique actually includes the data and learns how to reconstruct the data back from the reduced encoded representation. It means we have just a random data set and we are trying to encode it, and after that it have to be decoded, and decoded means it is going to be reconstructed data back to the reduced encoded representation, to the representation that is close to the original input as possible. So we are going to try, if we have some recognized data set and if we have some random data set, then we take the random data set as input and we just apply the encoder, then it going to be compress the data, and we apply the ANN technique here. We have different hidden layers, and then it filter out and reconstruct the data into some form, and then we just match that reconstructed output to the previous data set. And when we just find out if this data is matching with our supervised data set, then we are going to align this data with that data set. So this is a basic idea of autoencoder. So we can see here, autoencoder by design reduces the data dimension by learning how to ignore the noise in the data. So basically we have random data set or fuzzy data set. So we are going to encode it. Encoding means it is going to remove the noise or missing data or unnecessary data from the data set and reduce the data dimensions, because data dimension means we are going to reduce some feature. So as we reduce the feature, dimension will be reduced, because if we have different attribute, different feature, then those are, when we going to map those, then dimension will also be get mapped. So if we have 4 feature, then we can have the 4-dimensional data. If we have 3 feature, then we have 3-dimensional data. So it is going to reduce the dimension of the data. So we can say autoencoder is a type of ANN that is used to learn the efficient data coding in unsupervised manner. So we already understand what is unsupervised. So the goal mainly the goal of autoencoder is learn to represent for a set of data, usually for dimensionality reduction. So basically this technique is used to reduce the dimension and remove the noise from the data. So this is the architecture, how it works. So autoencoder is a special feed-forward neural network which does the following. So what are the steps, how it works? First is the encoding. Then encoding means we have the input data xi, and it just give this data. This is the input training data set, and we just apply some weight on this data set and just reach to the hidden state. Then this is the part of encoding. This is the part of encoding. And next we decode it. So after when we decode it, then the input again from the hidden representation, the model is trained to minimize to certain loss function which will ensure xi cap is close to the xi. It means we have the input data, then we apply some weight here, then we reach to the hidden data. This is the encoding part, and when we going to the output layer, then hidden node is the input for this layer. We apply the some weight here and we will get the output layer, and this is the output. Xi cap is the output. Then we will just match this output with this input. So when we talk about hidden layer, means it is a function of weight xi plus b. We have applied some weight here and have some bias. B means bias have been added. And when we are talking about the decoder, then we have xi cap as the output and have the function of weight into hidden layer plus C. C is also a constant, means any bias value. So we can say here autoencoder where dimension of hidden layer is less than dimension of xi, it is called as a under complete encoder. Means if we have a number of feature, then when we went to the hidden layer, then feature will get reduced. But if we dimension of h will be less than dimension of xi, but it is under complete because dimensionality have been reduced, but feature have been lost. So we have to just reconstruct data so that our loss function will we have the low value. So autoencoder where dimensionality of hidden layer will greater than dimensionality of xi, it is called as a over complete encoder. So there are two conditions, under complete autoencoder and over complete autoencoder. So what is the architecture of autoencoder? This is a layman architecture, means we have original input, this is the symbol 4, and we have encoder, means we have applied some weight and reached to the hidden layer. After that we have encoded data here and we apply just decoder, means we have applied some weight here and we will reconstructing this symbol. So actually after receiving this input we have to calculate the loss. Loss function means we are calculating the error, that is mean square error, and we can just differentiate between the original and the reconstructed output. So autoencoder is a whole can thus be described by function of g of fx. G of fx means we have original input x and having some function f, then again we are applying the function g so that we can reconstruct the output. So you want R as close as original input x. So here we can say here we have fx, and after decoding we get the g of, here we apply g of fx, means after this is a part of decoding. Fx function have the encoding value and g of fx have the decoded value. So how to calculate the loss function actually? So encoder is a encoder of a linear autoencoder equivalent to PCA if we have used the linear encoder. So we are actually have used previously linear regression. When our model is data is linearly separable, we apply SVM, linear regression problems. Similarly here we have the linear encoder and linear decoder. Means our data have linear separations of data points. Like some data points are here and some data points are here. So we can linear separate our data. So here we have linear encoder and decoder and use a squared error loss function. So this is the formula of calculating the loss between actual and the predicted value and normalize the input. So mean M is the mean, M is the total number of data points. So we can calculate the loss function. So there are following types of encoder: denoising encoder, sparse encoder, contractive encoder, and convolutional encoder. So what is the purpose of these different encoders actually? So denoising encoder actually, at the word described, denoising means it create a corrupted copy of the input by introducing some noise. So we just implant some noise into the input data so that we can filter out it and reconstruct our input data and match it with the previous data. So it creates the corrupted copy of input by introducing some noise, and this had to avoid the autoencoder to copy the input to the output without learning feature. So actually why we are adding the noise? Because we want to train our model more filtering out the output values. So we have to copy the input to the output without learning feature about the data. So we want our feature get more learned, and so we are going to add the noise. So model will work encode our data, and it will going to then it will decode the data. So all the kind of noise we have added will get filtered. It means we have analyzes our features and they are getting robust value, and even when we have noise in the data, it is not going to be changed. So these autoencoder take a partially corrupted input while training to recover the original undistorted input. So actually we want that our input data will have the, so the model learns a vector field for mapping the input data towards a lower dimensional. So we already learned the dimensionality reduction technique like PCA, principal component analysis, LDA. So this model have the mapping of input data towards a lower dimension manifold, which describe the natural data to cancel out and the added noise. So which feature we just get that it is not relevant, and this is not the important feature where independent variable depend on the dependent variable. So we just can cancel the feature, so it will reduce the dimensionality of the data. So denoising encoder simply corrupt the input data, use a probabilistic process before feeding it to the network, and the probabilistic model used in practice in the following. So here we have the probability of this data xij. So here we have input data, we have added some noise, we get the corrupted data, and then we apply this weight on this and have the hidden layer, then we have the output layer. So in other words, probability Q, we get the probability Q if the value of added noise is 0, and if the added noise is similar, have the input value, then it is 1 minus Q. It means with probability Q, input is flipped to 0, and with probability 1 minus Q, it is retained as it is. So this is the denoising in autoencoder. So this is the noisy input. We have encoder, means we have apply some noise here, and compressed representation, the feature we want to extract from the image. So after applying this, means when we apply some weight and reach to hidden layer, it is going to be compressed, and when we decode it, it have the denoised image. So it is getting filter out. So this is the denoising encoder. Next advantage is what? It have the good representation, and it can be obtained robustly from the corrupted input. Obviously we are going to apply, if there is a noise in any data value, then it is going to be 0. So it have no consideration, dimensionality get reduced, and when we have like that, input can be done randomly by making some of the input as 0, and remaining node copy the input to the noised input, minimizing the loss function between the output node and the corrupted input, and setting up a single thread denoising encoder is easy. So these are the advantages. And what is the drawback? To train an autoencoder to denoise data, it is necessary to perform the preliminary stochastic mapping in order to corrupt the data. It means our data should not be affected, but in this case, when we apply some noise, then our input can also be get corrupted. So means we have to just map the stochastic mapping in order to corrupt the data. Stochastic means 1 to 1, means if we are adding some value, that should be on one row, then second row. So we can have the stochastic mapping so that we can recover our data. This model isn't able to develop the mapping which memorizes the training data, because our input and target output are no longer same, because we have different input, and when we add the noise, we getting the output, but their feature get change because we have done some value have been become 0. So our input get changed, so they are not same. Next is sparse autoencoder. It means it have the hidden node greater than the input node. Sparse means we are creating the sparse data, that is where there are various values become 0, and some value have some input value. So they can still discover the important feature. Means generic sparse autoencoder is visualized where obscurity of node correspond to the level of the activation. It means sparsity constraint is introduced on the hidden layer, and this is used to prevent the output layer and copy input data. So this is the architecture of sparse input. We have 6 input, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have hidden layer, we have output layer, and we have 6 outputs here. So hidden, how many unit we have used in hidden layer? 3. So it is creating the sparse values. Sparse means many value become 0, and we have the actual input value which have some information. So noise will get reduced, and it will create the sparsity on the in the data. So sparse encoder have the sparsity penalty and value close to 0 but not exactly 0. Sparsity penalty is applied on the hidden layer in addition to the reconstruction error. So this prevent the overfitting. So we already know what is overfitting when we have some classification and have some, like, this is the classification and all points are near the this point. So when our model is type of this, it is going to be fitted but when we are going to apply this on the test data, then some point can be overlap here. So we have some point like this is plus point and this is minus point. Then we have some minus here, we have some plus here. So this is the, so this is what? This is the overfitting. So it, when some value becomes 0 and or close to 0, then it can avoid the problem of overfitting also. They take the highest activation value in the hidden layer and 0 out the rest of the hidden node. Highest activation value means we have applied some activation, like we have sine function or we have sigmoid function. This is a symbol of sigmoid. So we can have this type of classification. We have this type of classification, so it have only positive value, all negative value become 0. So take the highest activation values. This prevent autoencoder to use all the hidden node at a time and forcing only the reduced number of hidden node to be used. So what is the drawback? For it to be working, it is essential that individual node for a trained model which activate our data are data dependent, and that different input will be result in activation of different node through the network. It means when we are creating the sparse encoder, then it have the actually highest activation value. It means the some input data also have the some value or feature, and it is going to be reduced because we are generating the sparsity in the data. So we can lose some values. So activate are data dependent and different input will result in the activation. So same, it means there can be some irrelevant feature that can added into the activation because of positive value. So we can get the corrupted data. So this is the drawback. Then the contractive autoencoder. The objective of contractive autoencoder is to have the robust learned representation which is less sensitive to the small variation of the data. So its basic objective is to have the robust learned representation which is missing in the sparse encoder. Robustness means data is done by applying the penalty term to the loss function. Contractive autoencoder is another regularization technique just like sparse and denoising autoencoder. So it is going to be add some regularization. In regularization, we already understand we have some weight decay, we have applied some penalty term there. So just like that, it is like contractive encoder have to just apply some penalty term to the loss function so that we can reduce the error. So contractive encoder also try to prevent an over complete autoencoder from learning the identity function, and it does so by adding following regularization term to the loss function. So this is omega theta is JXH for square. So here JXH is Jacobian of the encoder. So this penalty have been added to the loss function. So contractive encoder is better choice than denoising encoder to learn the useful feature extraction, and this model learn an encoding in which similar input have the similar encoding. So we are forcing the model to learn how to contact the neighborhood of the input into a smaller neighborhood of the output. Obviously it is going to have some penalty term, so all the input have close to the boundary point, and so it have the smaller convert into the smaller neighborhood of the output. So next is convolutional. Convolutional autoencoder is a traditional formulation, does not take into account in the fact that signal cannot be the sum of other signal. Means convolutions neural network, we already just have the model for image classification. So here we have convolutional autoencoder that use convolutional operator. Convolutional means we are applying some filter to exploit this observation. They learn to encode the input in a set of simple signal. It means here we are talking about the sinusoidal form of signal. Means it can be digital signal or it can be sinusoidal waves signal, and try to reconstruct the input from them and modify the geometry or reluctance of the image. Because we are, it is convolution, we are talking about image have some background, some foreground, so we converted that image into the form of signal. So when signal is high, it means there is some pixel value is going to be black or high resolution, and it is when the signal is low, it means it has the low brightness or contrast and having low pixel value. So advantage is, due to their convolutional nature, they scale well to realize realistic size high dimensional images. So if I have high dimensional images, 3D, 4D, so when we convert it into the signal form, then we can analyze where the pixels have high sensitivity or high resolution, where low resolution. So we can filter out and can remove the noise from picture or reconstruct the missing parts. Drawback is what? Reconstruction of input image is often blurry and of lower quality due to compression, during which information is lost. Because we are going to encode our data, we are compressing our data. So when we compress high dimensional image, so some feature can be have the blurriness, because blurriness is coming because some pixel have lost their value.